In God we trust. The ninth house moon placement is a sign that the person is very faithful, has a strong faith in God. However, every placement has a positive as well as a negative side to it, and it all depends on the quality of the horoscope. If the horoscope is of a base level individual, an individual who is at the base level of consciousness, then this ninth house placement can make him or her very religious, those hardliners, fanatics who will kill on the name of religion. Whereas the same placement in an evolved soul's horoscope will make the person more spiritual. So you understand the difference? Either you are religious or you are spiritual. A religious person cannot understand the essence of spirituality, and a spiritual person has absolutely no interest in religion. So depending on the quality of the horoscope, depending on the quality of the ninth house lord, this moon in the ninth house will either give you a spiritual person or a religious person. There are many shallow men and women who object that you are a Hindu, then why are you sharing more about Jesus? Why are you talking more about Buddha? You see, these are shallow men. They are just limited with their version of religion. They cannot see beyond it. They are trapped. And these are those typical hardliners. Whereas a spiritual person, for him, it doesn't matter whether he is Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian, because he is perfectly aware that God has no religion. And so, if he likes the stories of Jesus, he will talk about Jesus because he sees godliness even in Jesus. If he likes Buddha, he will talk about Buddha because he loves Buddha. And similarly, he will also talk about Lord Krishna. For him, there is no discrimination. He will not say that I am Hindu, so I will only talk about Rama and Krishna. No, that is the true essence of spirituality. That when you become a big part of no religion, but who wants to listen? So the ninth house moon, although a good placement, you have to see whether the person is a very limited version or he is an unlimited version. A limited version person is a typical person who says, I am a Christian, so only I will talk about Jesus and only Jesus is great. A typical limited version is a person who says, I am Hindu, so only Hindu is the best religion. These all kind of people are shallow people. They will never understand the essence of spirituality. They will remain blocked, trapped in their own circle, their own prison. They will be born as Hindu and they will die as Hindu. They will not understand a single thing about spirituality. Spirituality embraces everybody. It never discriminates between Hindu, Muslim and Christian. So depending on the quality of the horoscope, the ninth house moon fructifies. In this podcast, I am going to share more about moon in the ninth house. So let's begin.
Moon in ninth house is a man of faith. Faith drives him. He is a lover of God. He is devoted to God. He has the qualities of a devoted disciple. The best example of a true disciple is Hanuman. He was the greatest disciple of Lord Rama. His devotion, his unconditional love towards his master, that is, towards Lord Rama, cannot be expressed in words. Moon in ninth house, depending on the quality of the horoscope, can imbibe the qualities of a true disciple, the qualities of a faithful man. This moon placement makes the person idealist. He follows a certain ideology, a certain sect, or a certain thought process. He may be a moderate or he may be an extremist, but he always has a clear thought process which he follows very diligently. The negative side of moon in ninth is that it can make one a hardliner, a religious fanatic who can do anything on the name of religion. Many hardliner religious activists are found with this moon placement. However, if the horoscope is of an evolved soul, then you will find someone as great as the Indian freedom fighter Lokmanya Tilak. Lokmanya Tilak's moon was placed in the ninth house with Jupiter. Here is a quick look at Lokmanya Tilak's horoscope. Lokmanya Tilak was a very faithful man. In fact, he was one of those few freedom fighters who had met Shirdi Sai Baba, and Sai Baba had blessed him, and also the great spiritual master Sai Baba had said to him, "You have done much work for the country. Now you do something for yourself. People are very bad, and so you should observe silence and keep everything in your mind." That is so true. That is why every spiritual seeker should stay away from negative people and avoid spending time in answering or explaining those who have absolutely no depth of understanding. When Lokmanya Tilak met Sai Baba, he had bought many holy gifts for Sai Baba. One of them was his book on Bhagavad Gita, which he had written in the Mandalay prison. Sai Baba touched the book to his forehead and blessed the greatest freedom fighter of India, Lokmanya Tilak. As you can see in the birth chart of Lokmanya Tilak, he had his moon in Pisces sign. That is one of my favorite zodiac sign. I love Pisces. And his ninth house moon is with Jupiter, and Jupiter is in its own sign in Pisces. Rahu is also in Pisces sign with Jupiter and moon. The greatest freedom fighter had Jupiter and Rahu together in Pisces sign. And so there is no such thing as Guru Chandal Yoga. As I have been stating from the very beginning, that do not fear if Jupiter is with Rahu in your birth chart. Always remember, and I say this for the larger interest of all my close followers and listeners, the moon sign lord should be strong, and that is the most important golden rule that you all must focus on. If your moon sign lord is weak or not well placed, then there are certain remedies that one should follow to strengthen your moon sign lord. Moon in ninth house is an indication that at some stage of your life you will start following a certain spiritual figure, a spiritual master. Reminds me of the Hollywood actress Julia Roberts, best known for her beautiful smile and a very natural acting. Julia Roberts, in the later stage of her life, was influenced by Neem Karoli Baba, the greatest spiritual master and avatar of Lord Hanuman. In an interview for the news program Good Morning America on ABC News on August 9, Julia Roberts said her interest in Hinduism came from seeing a picture of Guru called Neem Karoli Baba. And she says, I was so drawn to this picture of this person, and I did not know who he was or what he was, but I felt a very strong interest. When asked if she had met Neem Karoli Baba in person, Julia Roberts replied, no, he passed away long back before I saw his picture. But just very intriguing. That is the way things come into our lives. They are not these big gate crashing moments. It is just a little like, is what is this about? Julia Roberts further mentioned that she did practice Hinduism and added, Hinduism is something I am very intrigued by and very interested in. She also revealed that she goes to the temple with her family to chant and pray and celebrate. I am definitely a practicing Hindu, is what she says. Here is a picture of Julia Roberts with one Indian sadhu. Julia Roberts has her moon in the 9th house. Here is a quick look at her birth chart. As you can see, her moon is in the 9th house in Leo sign, Magha Nakshatra. When moon falls in Ketu's Nakshatra and when moon is in the 9th, definitely the person is drawn towards spiritual path. These men and women are faithful, but they can also become a victim in the hands of fake Baba or fake master. Reminds me of a beautiful story. Although the story is not real, but it is significant in many ways. It happened so that there was a young faithful man. He must be like me. His name was Junaid. He was in search of a real master. He searched, and after many years, finally at the foothills of the Himalayas, he found the master. As soon as he met his master, he surrendered to the master. He trusted totally, and he asked the master, what am I supposed to do now? The master said, once you have surrendered to me, you are not supposed to do anything. Just believe in me. My name is the only secret mantra for you. Whenever you are in difficulty, just remember my name and everything will be alright. Junaid touched the feet of the master and he tried it immediately. He was such a simple man. He walked on the river. Other disciples who had been with the master for many years could not believe it. He was walking on the water. They reported to the master that man, you have not understood him. He is no ordinary man. He is walking on water. The master said, what? They all ran towards the river and Junaid was walking on the water, singing songs, dancing. When he came to the shore, the master asked, what is the secret? He said, what is the secret? It is the same secret that you have given to me, your name. I remembered you. I said, Master, allow me to walk on the water. And it happened. The master could not believe that his name. He himself could not walk on water, but perhaps he had never tried. But it would be better to check a few more things before he tries. So he said to Junaid, can you jump from that hill? Junaid said, whatever you say. He went up on the hill and jumped. And they were all standing in the valley waiting. Just pieces of Junaid will be there. Even if they can find pieces of him, that will be enough. The hill was very high. But Junaid came down smiling, sitting in a lotus posture. He came just under a tree in the valley and sat down. They all surrounded him. They looked at him, not even a scratch. The master said, this is something. You used my name? He said, yes, it was your name. The master said, "This is enough now. Now I am going to try." And the first step in the water, he sank. Junaid could not believe it when he sank. His disciples jumped in and somehow pulled him out. He was half dead. The water was taken out of his lungs. Somehow he survived. And Junaid said, "What is the matter?" The master said, "You just forgive me. I am no master. I am just a pretender." But Junaid said, "If you are a pretender, then how did your name work?" And the pretender said, "My name has not worked. It is your trust. It does not matter who you trust. It is the trust, the love, the totality of it. I don't trust myself. I don't trust anybody. I cheat everybody. How can I trust? And I am always afraid to be cheated by others because I am cheating others. Trust is impossible for me. But you are an innocent man. Junaid, you are an innocent man. You trusted me. It is because of your trust that the miracles have happened. The real power is in your trust. The real beauty is in your faith. Ninth house moon comes with this kind of deep trust in God. Always remember, faith is trusting God even when you don't understand His plan. Faith is good, trust is good. However, one should not become a religious fanatic. As mentioned, the negative shade of this placement is that it can give birth to a typical Christian missionary, or an Islamist jihadi, or a typical hardliner Hindu. However, it all depends on the quality of the horoscope. A very base level horoscope may give birth to a typical religious fanatic who lives his whole life believing that his religion is the only true religion. However, in a higher level horoscope, the native is less of religious and more of spiritual. He understands perfectly that God has no religion. And that is exactly what Mahatma Gandhi used to say: God has no religion. Always remember, a religious person can never understand the essence of spirituality, and a spiritual person is not at all interested in any religion. The Master says, "People sometimes ask me, 'What religion are you?' I always answer by saying, 'I am a little part of all religions and a big part of no religion.'" Ninth house is more connected with those who belong to the higher realms of consciousness, such as a Swami, a Sadhu, a spiritual guide, a master. Ninth house therefore has absolutely nothing to do with the biological father. Instead, the ninth house has more to do with the spiritual fatherly figures, such as a Swami, a Sadhu, or a spiritual master. Ninth house moon native generally pays respect to fatherly figures. However, those who are suffering because of a bad relation with biological father should also take efforts to have cordial relation with your biological father, because the father is the first man you meet in your life. Always remember, the first thing to understand is that the father is the first man you meet in your life. And when you cannot love your father, you cannot really love any other man. A father is always a representative of all other men, just as a mother is a representative of all women. If you are not at peace with your father, one possibility is that you still expect or want something from Him. That will keep you tied to Him in a state of hope and will prevent you from really coming close to any other man. Hope is a dangerous state, a miserable state, and as we know, hopes never get fulfilled. So one remains stuck and cannot move forward in life. Therefore, it is necessary that even though you don't like your biological father, still you should not hurt him and you should have cordial relations with him, as that is in your overall interest. Spiritually and materially, you will progress only when you maintain cordial relation with your biological father. Always remember this. When you are unhappy with your father, you tend to look for a man in order to get from him what one could not get or still misses from one's father. This is bound to be a very frustrating experience, because for our unconscious mind, no man can be a match for our own father. Every man will fall short and never will live up to comparisons with one's own father. So on one side we search for a man, for the right man, of course. And who is the right man? The one who can be the better father. And on the other side, we will believe unconsciously that this man is not as good as our father. Then we will at some point do everything to get rid of him. Then the search continues without ever coming to a completion, because no man can really ever replace one's own biological father. When the moon is weak, the father has much influence over the native's life. And when sun is weak, the mother has much influence over the native's life. Reminds me of our late Prime Minister, Sri Rajiv Gandhi. In his birth chart, sun is in Magha Nakshatra, in Ketu's Nakshatra, and placed in 8th house as per the KP Kaspal chart. Whereas moon is placed in Purva Falguni, a Venusian Nakshatra, and placed in the 9th house as per the KP Kaspal chart. So in his chart, moon is more powerful than sun, and so Indira Gandhi, his mother, was more influential in his life than his biological father. The angular houses, such as the 5th and 9th house, or 2nd and 6th house, or 8th and 12th house, these houses signify certain skill, certain talent, and so 9th house moon native also has a certain skill, certain unique talent, based on which they earn much name, fame, and wealth. Remember, 9th is the house of wisdom, 5th is the house of intelligence. Intelligence is an inborn quality. An intelligent student scores good marks in his studies, whereas wisdom comes from self-realization. 9th house moon native is much interested in attaining wisdom. This moon placement also enables foreign travel. The native either travels to foreign land to attain higher education or to complete a certain project, work, or an important mission. Natives with this placement like to listen to spiritual discourse. They understand the significance of satsang. A satsang is a spiritual discourse or a sacred gathering. Overall, this placement is excellent for attaining higher education, experiencing God consciousness, attaining spiritual growth. The only point is that for this beautiful placement to blossom and fructify, the soil should be of good quality, meaning the horoscope should be of good quality. Good quality is based on the level of consciousness, the depth of understanding that the native has attained from the many past cycles of his or her births and rebirths. Many times, the most common question asked is, what happens after death? The answer is simple. No magic and nothing fancy happens after death. After death, you simply start your journey from the level of awareness, level of consciousness that you have attained by the end of your life. So, if you have taken certain efforts in turning inwards, if you have sincerely taken efforts in doing regular meditation, if you have chanted the name of the Lord with love and devotion, then when you die, your journey is much better than others. Because you have taken efforts to expand your consciousness. It is necessary to remember that heaven is a very common place. There are many great places that are much superior to heaven, but only meditative souls can attain these higher places. Whereas heaven is for common souls who typically get a place in heaven for doing good karma. But when the good karmic balance is over, these common souls have to return again to this physical world which is full of suffering. That's how Buddha says that human life is a suffering. People wrongly superimpose permanence on heavenly enjoyments. Everlasting bliss can be obtained only by eliminating the cycle of birth and death. Heaven is not the place for the realization of truth. It is an irony that people are behind places such as heaven, which is not here and now. In contrast, all the requirements for self-knowledge is ready at hand. Why bother about unknown things when the wise ones have shown us the way to attain self-knowledge here and now? Ninth house moon natives should meditate on these words, because these natives have the potential to attain self-realization. They have been walking on this path for many past births and rebirths. Then why is it that still the state of Buddha is not attained? Why is it that still you are at the circumference and not centered within? Why? Find the answer. The very effort in finding the answer to this why will lead you to self-realization. So let the journey begin. The journey within. The only journey is the one within. Meditate every day. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.